Thomas, welcome to the show.
Hi, Omer.
So, do you have a favorite quote? Something that inspires or motivates you that you can share with us?
Yes, absolutely. The one that I really like is one image is worth 1,000 words,
Why? Why is that important to you?
because that's kind of the fundamental sentence that I use to build SightCall, right? So we are in a world where today there's too many what I call blind communications, where you try to explain, what's going on, what is in front of you, what's your problem, where it should be so much easier if you could show this one picture, right, and collaborate with vision rather than, again, just text or words. So really like this sentence, and I think it's absolutely true. Try to describe, any type of image. It will really require over 1,000 words.
So, tell us about SightCall. What does the product do? Who's it for? And what's the main problem you're helping to solve?
Yeah, we are a cloud software. So what we deliver is an enterprise solution to help see, analyze, and guide remotely. So what does it mean? It means that in a lot of different service circumstances, which can be customer service or field service, you have some tasks to be done remotely. Rather than having just, again, this text or voice communication, we bring vision into the process. So typically, for example, you have a problem with your coffee machine or your washing machine. You contact the vendor and they will send you a link to your smartphone. You click on the link, it starts the back camera of your phone, and you can show, what the problem is. And the remote customer service agent has some augmented reality to explain you what to do and which part to remove, what to zoom in, and really guide you to the reparation process. Or even if you cannot repair it, for example, identify which part needs to be replaced and kind of lead you to the right troubleshooting through this visual component that is provided by SightCall.
So if I understood this correctly, like if I was using a company that was providing support through SightCall, let's say maybe the ice maker in my freezer has broken, and this person, I'm showing them with my camera, my phone, the ice maker, and with the AR, that would actually let me see as well, like specific, like if they're talking about a specific part of that mechanism, the AR kind of highlights that, and I can see that too as a customer in terms of, oh, that's the thing he's talking about.
Exactly. So think about it as a two-way collaboration. On one side, there's this customer service agent who, usually would sit in a contact center. And SightCall is integrated with all of these cloud contact center solutions on the CRM solution that it would use. So just by one click, they would see the streaming of your camera directly into their contact center solution. And they have some advanced command that they can use through SightCall, yes, to guide you on your phone. So directly over your phone, that's where you're going to see this augmentation. So for example, if they ask you to remove this part of the ice maker, then they can, put a screwdriver and show you that the screwdriver should go there. And that's the one thing that you need to remove there to get it out. So it's really all of this, visual guidance that they can provide to you as, the end customer there directly on your phone.
Yeah, love it. Who are your customers? Who are some of the companies that are using SightCall today?
So we have around 200 enterprise customers. Usually it's, global organization, very big brands, from manufacturing in field service. We have companies like GE Healthcare, right, that would use SightCall every day when they have a problem for the maintenance or installation on this MRI machine in the hospital. It can be also more consumer service brands, like you mentioned your fridge with this ice maker. If you have a Whirlpool they use SightCall every day to help customers fix problems remotely there.
And can you give us a sense of the size of the business? Where are you in terms of revenue, size of team, and so on?
So think about it this way: 200 global enterprise customers, 100 people in the team. We don't disclose our revenue, but we are in the 8-digit numbers. And it's really a global organization. That's one of our characteristics as well. So I'm based here in the San Francisco Bay Area, where our headquarters is, but I started the company in France. We have teams on the offices, from Boston to London to Germany, up to Singapore. So we really, deliver this service at scale for large organization. And also, what's very important in the way we build this platform is the fact that it can deliver a high quality service for people all over the globe. So typically, the contact center that you are reaching out to, even if you're here in the US, can be in the Philippines. So it's very important that the connectivity and the optimization that we've built here across this global platform can provide this high quality of service between the Philippines and where you are right now.
Cool. Okay, so let's go back to 2008. You're in Paris when you founded this business, and for the first 3 years, you didn't raise any money. You bootstrapped the business. So, firstly, where did the idea for this come from?
So where the idea came from, I'm a telecommunication engineer, and studied telecommunication, and started my career at UUNet. So UUNet was at this time, at the end of the 90s, the biggest internet service provider in the world. We were literally building the infrastructure of the internet and carrying over 40% of the world internet traffic globally. So we were really the internet pioneers, had the chance to even work with some of the founders of the internet. Very, technical team, building all of the infrastructure. I was leading Southern Europe engineering group there, and we were working with all of the European team as well as the US team on continuing all of this expansion at a time where the bandwidth requirements was so high that we had to literally double the size of the network every 3 months. So it was really a race of building, changing all of the technology, finding the new solutions to be able to continue to deliver the service that everybody was discovering. So that was really a kind of a very intense time up to the .com, and I was at UNet during the .coms, and very exciting time as well. We saw the internet traffic literally exploding. And then a couple of years in a row, we were acquired by MCI WorldCom. So if you remember, MCI WorldCom was a very large telco, and they acquired UUNet to make UUNet their new internet arm. And it was a cultural shock when we were acquired, because we were the internet guys, and our life was internet. We're going at lightning speed, and we're working night and days on building all of this cool technology. Where MCI WorldCom was a very typical telco, where everything was siloed, segmented. That was kind of a new world where they say, all right, now you're going to have to work this way. You're going to have to get big project. I remember even one of the first big project that my new boss asked me to work on was to merge the data network of MCI WorldCom with UUNet. He worked on it and said, okay, it's going to be a 2-year project. So take your team, work on that, get it done, and show me the progress. Came back less than 6 months later, it was done. when I showed the result, he said, no, that's not possible. I said, well, it's done. It's here. And I still remember this feedback that was, oh, you guys have to slow down, which was really, at this time for me, I say, I think there's a problem there, right? There's a serious cultural shock. I think that's the other way, that you guys have to understand that the internet is going to go way faster and we will not slow down, but you guys have to speed up. And then, I took other project that was interesting, was at the beginning of voice over IP, out of the communication going through the internet. I worked a lot on the, launching new project there, until the time where we went chapter 11. So MCI.com was one of the, I think still today, one of the 3 biggest fraud in history. And our CEO went to jail and everything froze, right? When you're in chapter 11, I didn't even know what chapter 11 was. I was in Paris. I saw that in the news. Say, okay, then you Google it, what is chapter 11? So, and then, getting through all of this, we thought with some of my teammates that it was time to change the dynamic there, to kind of build a new type of infrastructure that could deliver real-time communication services to the world without being kind of trapped in a telco type of behavior. And at this time, I was still missing some experience, right? Because I was really in tech and deep engineering. I never grew up, a business. So I joined the CEO of an interesting company that was based in France, who was providing software development and consulting for telcos and enterprise. Small company at this time, around 40 people. I knew the CEO, and he told me, I told him my story, and said, well, I want to learn. I want to learn business, right? Because my goal is to start my own company, and I missed this part. It was great. He said, all right, take your first sales guy and go for it. So we had a good 5 years there that I spent with them. And literally we grew from 40 people to 450 people. Company was cash positive, great success, learned a lot. And then came the time where I thought, okay, I've learned enough now. And I can go back to this initial idea that we've had to transform the communication world with technology. And I started to work with one of my friends from school who worked with me at UNET on MCI.com. And we started to design, the platform on what it should be and how it should work, literally in his basement every night, until, we had the true pillars that were designed. One of them was the fact that we absolutely wanted to be fully virtualized. Where think about it, in 2007, right, where you could not do any enterprise communication without deploying a lot of hardware, right? So we didn't want any hardware dependency. So we thought it will be a software play. We're going to virtualize out of the real-time communication world. The second one was more about the fact that now that we were virtualized on the internet, we did not have any more silos or barriers between the media. Where, with a telco, you have a voice channel that is connected on, it's only voice. You have then a text, it's only text. Or there was a revolution when they introduced MMS on top of SMS, where you can maybe send a picture in your text message. Wonderful. Thank you. Took them 5 years.
I remember when that was a big deal, the MMS communication.
But that was done, the telco way again. 5 years, massive, hundreds of millions of dollar investment, etc., to do it. Where on the internet we could do it immediately.
So I'm curious that as you were thinking about designing this business, did you know? Were you already clear about the product in terms of what SightCall was going to become, or was this more about we want to build a business, we know it's in this space, this is the kind of problem we want to solve? Like, how much clarity do you have about exactly what that idea was going to be at that point?
It was not 100% clear, right, on the exact problem that we would solve in the future. What was clear is that we were bridging a big technology gap between telecommunication and software. On how to use it, on what our go-to-market would be, that was actually the third pillar that we've designed, where we thought that our go-to-market should start by API. So it's very, engineering style, where we thought, hey, let's provide a platform that can connect with all of the other enterprise software solutions to deliver these capabilities to the enterprise, through them, with them. So that's why our go-to-market was, we've got all of these features, all of these capabilities. Now that we broke all of the barriers between all of these media, all of these things, we can aggregate. That was the beginning, where we say, hey, why not adding, video on top of voice with screen sharing, but any type of data. And that's where we started to play with augmented reality, with a lot of things that we can also use through the same channel, because we did not have any constraint anymore. So that was more of a discovery of everything we could do now that we unleash all of these capabilities. But to be honest with you, I was not 100% clear on the exact problem that we would solve for the enterprise market at the end.
Yeah, I mean, as I hear you talking about it, it definitely sounds like a very techie approach, that we have this great technology, we can make this technology better, and let's find a problem that this technology will solve, as opposed to, what we hear about these days in the lean startup stuff about talk to customers, find a problem, and then build a solution. You guys were very solution driven, looking for the problem, right?
Yes, we were very solution driven. In terms of the problem, we knew a lot of problem, because all of these enterprise, and again, we're focused on enterprise since day one, and that's kind of my word. I've never done any solution for consumers. So we knew that everybody was struggling with, getting enterprise product that can make all of these collaboration features with all of the visual component as part of it available through their software ecosystem in their infrastructure, without having to, deploy massive equipments in there, etc. So that was a true problem that everybody was facing. But the value of it, the exact, model on use case, on the day-to-day, that when I gave you the example with your ice maker, no, it was not clear back in the day.
Yeah. Okay. So what I want to try to figure out is, like, you're bootstrapping the business, so you don't have, unlimited funds or millions of dollars to go and invest in this business. You're targeting enterprise, which means it's not, a weekend minimum viable product that you're going to go and sell to somebody on Monday. How did you get started? What was that first version of the product? How long did it take you to build? But more importantly, like, how long did it take for you to find that exact problem that you were going to go and solve?
It took us literally 4 months to get a prototype that worked, where we could, demo our vision through software. The hard part of it was to build a true platform that would scale globally and that is enterprise ready. And that took us 5 years. So I did not anticipate 5 years, right? Which is a big gap between 4 months and 5 years, as you can imagine, of your life. It's not the same story. So why did it take so much time? Is because there were so many, challenges that we had to overcome to make the right solution for the enterprise market. And we were really combining these two words, the telecommunication and the software, that did not communicate together, that did not work together in the past. And so we hired some telecommunication engineers, some software developers, get them on the same, deck, on working on the, in the same office every day. And even after several years, they were still not speaking the same language. So just to highlight the big, gap between these two industries that we were bridging. That was painful, was long. So after 3 years of building the platform, we had, first POCs here and there on trying to test the market to see how to deliver our product. And that's where we raised our seed round of funding.
And when you got to that seed stage, had you clearly defined the problem now, like in terms of this is, the SightCall product that you told us about earlier?
We had some good ideas, as you do in seed. You have a good PowerPoint and you explain all of the problem that you could solve on the few POCs that are ongoing. And we started, we used a banker to find, some investors back in Paris. And, after a couple of months, the banker told us that there was no response and it was not ready and didn't find any investors. So I was a bit upset with that. So I asked the banker to let us do it by ourselves. And we've got it, reached to first investor there directly. There's a fun story there. I hope this investor would not be mad if I share it with you. But I reached out to this guy. I identified at kind of one of the biggest funds in France. The one guy that I saw had the perfect profile, investing in software, in tech, and also having some understanding of the telecommunication background. So he was hey, that's the one guy. I want to speak to this one. And even went through the same engineering school as we've been through before, working in New York, in the stock exchange of this stuff. So I dropped him an email, no answer, 2 email, no answer, 3 email, no answer. So maybe after the number 4 or 5, I sent the last one and said, all right, and it was not a nice email. I literally was very pissed. I say, you kind of a prick, right? You could even answer my email, and that sucks. We've shared the same background. You could even, even if you're not interested in investing, we could go grab a beer, and that would just be the right thing to do as a human, right? So literally 5 minutes after he responded, he said, "Oh no, I'm sorry." So it really worked. It really worked. He told me we made a lot of fun about the story after, because he invested in the company. And he told me, hey, I was really not used to receive this kind of email.
Yeah, don't try that at home. It doesn't always work.
No. I cannot give that as a recommendation for everyone, but this time it worked.
So 3 years you've been building this product. You get to the seed round, but even at that point, you don't really have, it's a prototype. You don't have a fully functioning product. You don't have any customers yet. What happens? How much money did you raise in the seed round? And then how did things change?
So we raised 1 million euros. And the expectation was to launch the product and find our market. So that's, it took us maybe another year to get everything lined up and the platform ready. And then started to test the product with different prospects, large companies, large software vendors, to see their reaction. And that's where something interesting happened. Is I pitched the product to Oracle in Paris, and they found it very interesting. I did not know why at this time, but I knew after that the person I pitched it to literally received 2 weeks before kind of a study from his team that explained that in the state of the art of the technology at this time, what we've done was not possible. So they asked me to go to meet with the team in the US, and that's why I started the back and forward between the Silicon Valley and Paris. On seeing their reaction, I thought, hey, I should try with the other vendors in the Bay Area. So I started to go and meet with the other ones, and I had also some very, very positive feedback. And that's where the decision was made in 2013. Well, that was at the end of 2012, that I would move to the US to launch the product from here. It was kind of a big bet. Say, hey, our go-to-market is going to be with the large enterprise software vendors to provide the video assistance capability on top of the platform to their customers. And so that's where, I moved with my family. I have my wife and 2 kids, and we moved to the Bay Area in 2013 and launched the product from there.
Tell me about your first customer. Who was that, and how did you land that first customer?
So we started with 1 or 2 small ones, but the first big one was actually at this time the biggest Salesforce customer, and we've signed it with Salesforce, which was HP. And HP with the printer division of HP. So, HP was the number 1 Salesforce customer. They have these executive meetings where they share their strategy, their problem, where they would like to get some improvement to be done. And they shared this problem with Salesforce that was literally every year between 20 and 30% of the printers that our customer would ship back to them, because from the customer's perspective, they did not work. When they test them, they would work, or have a very simple problem like a paper jam. So this, imagine we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of waste, right? In terms of product return, refurbishment, test, providing a new printer to the customer, total mess. And when they shared that with Salesforce, that's where they say, well, maybe let's bring, our partner at SightCall in the loop. And we joined, the meeting, and we shared what we could do, and they decided to move forward, and we deployed SightCall in Salesforce Service Cloud into their contact center in different countries, from India to Philippines to LATAM, and to provide this, well, I would say to empower their customer service agent to not only try to understand what the problem is, but also to see and guide the customer to its resolution and avoid a product return. It was a blast. It worked very well. And it really, opened up doors to others. And that was kind of the beginning of the success there.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, HP, great logo to get early on. what I'm curious about is like, how did you become a Salesforce partner in the first place?
That's a good question. I think by getting into their office every week.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. It's, I moved to the Bay Area for one reason, because I wanted to work with these guys. I was committed to it. I said, all right. They didn't have the big Salesforce tower yet. It was not here here in San Francisco, but they had big office, in one market. Every week, yeah. I found, a couple of guys that I met, asked to introduce to others, and blah, blah, blah. Every week I was there until I had this, presentation here in front of the team at Service Cloud, who really saw the interest and who even shared with me after that the demo that I showed them was something that they would even present at Dreamforce the same year. But as they didn't find a product that could do it in the cloud, they would hide some video equipment under the desk to make it a big show, as if everything was in the cloud, which it was not, because again they didn't have a solution. And when I showed them that the solution was there, then they say, "Oh shit! Actually, there's one." That's how the partnership started. But they didn't, very different from this seed round story where it's all about slides. Here, it's all about something that really works. Remember after this meeting with Service Cloud at Salesforce, they asked me for an API key. On the same day, I even received an email by midnight the same day from this guy, lead product engineer there, sent me an email and say, "Okay, I tested everything. It works as you said. I don't believe it. Come to my office tomorrow."
So it was that persistence of just not giving up, continuing to basically get in to, as whoever you could talk to at Salesforce. And I think it was a combination of that persistence and obviously the technology that you guys had built something that everybody else thought the technology wasn't there yet to be able to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. This 5 years of hard work. And trust me, we were not playing golf. We're paying because behind the the nice pitch, it was a true robust enterprise platform that was delivering this promise.
Great. So after all of this years of persistence, you've built the product. You have got this deal with HP, this partnership with Salesforce. The business at the time was called Wemo, not SightCall. And then you got a nice, not so friendly letter.
Yeah, that's this letter is part of what I call my welcome to the US, where in Europe I did not have any problem with Wemo, and even before moving to the US, we did a little bit of research on the name, and we asked if it was okay to even trademark this brand in the US, and there was no problem. So that's what we've done, and we started to operate with the name Wemo. And I received this very aggressive letter from a lawyer that literally explained me that if I did not change my name within the upcoming 2 weeks, they would, drag me to court, and going to be in very tough situation. And it was from a very large company that and Wemo is the name of one of their products. It's not the name of the company, but one of the product is named Wemo. It was written differently. We had WEEMO and they are WEMO, but they didn't like it though. So we went through a couple of discussions, and kind of to cool down the situation and to give me more time to change the name. I asked them if they would, be okay if I was Wemo in Europe, which they said, no, absolutely not. We will sue you there. Well, to which I told them that, I'm from there. I know everybody there. And by the way, my brand was Trademark before their brand up there. And so I would wait for them and welcome them to kick their ass in Europe. So we ended up into a trade-off, saying, so they did some research. They say, yeah, maybe it's going to be tough in Europe.
So you had the French trademark for Wemo.
Yes. Oh yeah, the European one was covered. Yeah. So we went to kind of this trade-off where they said, hey, anyway, we will not let you operate Wemo in the US. It's going to be a pain in the ass for you. Maybe you're stronger in Europe, but it's going to be a pain as well. So we agreed that they would give me 1 year to transition, take another name, and get there. And I think that was the best thing to do. When you are focused in growing a very small company at this time, you don't want to spend your energy into getting into this type of process there, right? So that's why with the board, even if it was a bit painful, say, all right, let's rebrand everything. Let's find a new name that really, now that we know exactly what our go-to-market is, that can also, be a bit more clear about this ability to see and guide remotely, which is SightCall, right?
Okay, and then so for the next couple of years, you were using partnerships, as we talked about with Salesforce and HP, as a way to grow, land new customers. And I think it was in 2015 you were able to raise your Series A, which is about 8.5 million, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you and I were talking about this, you said, fundraising is one of those really hard moments. I said, yeah, and I was like expecting to hear the same thing about, what you said earlier, like can't get investors' attention or time with them, or it was really difficult to get the money and all of this stuff. And you said, actually, it was the day after I raised my Series A round that was really hard. Can you explain that?
Yes. So just to put things in context, we were growing fast, right? Since, 2013, when I moved here, 2014, we signed HP and we were really, growing the business, finding new customers here and there, signing new partnership. We haven't had an ad on TV in France with a company named Darty. That's the French Best Buy, right? Who thought that, it was a wonderful idea to help their customer to typically troubleshoot any type of problem with their home appliances and provide this type of remote support. And they made a very funny ad, because obviously the one question everybody has is, but what if, through the camera, you would see someone in a situation that you would not like to see, right? They made this ad where actually the wife was in video call with Darty, asking question about where to install the new washing machine. And she would go in the bathroom, and obviously the husband would get out of the shower naked and going through the camera at this time. So it created some buzz. I think it was great. Also, good way to get around some of the fear that some brands could have, right, with using video. So we're going well. We're growing nicely. So that's why it was kind of time to raise our Series A. And Series A is all about scale, right? Scaling sales and marketing to grow the organization. So we've raised this round, 8.4 million. And it led to a lot of expectation from our investors, right? On us, say, all right, now let's compress time. instead of growing the way you do, you have this kind of pressure that comes on you. We say, all right, I cannot, I raised this, over 8 million. It's not to continue as I was doing, right? The reason why this guy believe in our ability to scale is because we're going to have to change everything and go way faster. That's what I started to do. I think the speed would hit me there on trying to change everything in an organization that was going well was sort of a hard time. Then that's where, you went from a place where everybody was really, really focused, working together, building together as one team, into a company where you see new management coming, creating some silos. And it even led me to a war. I call it a war because it was really first time I hired, a CMO who came into a company, great guy, did a lot of things, grew nice companies. And then, he had all of his ideas. And one of them was the fact that we should sell online. Obviously, our sales guys, enterprise sales guys, did not like that. Even make our pricing, public on all the things where they rather work with our customers, to build the right business case that mapped to their organization and their needs. The war started to happen. And I even had to take a hard decision to say, all right, so how do I fix that? And I had to decide to cut the marketing side because my sales were the guys, the ones selling. And then obviously during this time, it created some hiccups in the organization, the speed. And instead of, really accelerating at this time, actually you slow down a bit because you lose your focus.
When you say sales and marketing went to war, what did that look like? I mean, it's not uncommon for there to be, some conflict between a sales and marketing org, but when you use the word war, it's like, how bad did it get?
I trusted my sales and I trusted my marketing, right? And I was kind of in between. And even I wanted to let the marketing try, their idea. So they made our pricing, available online. Literally a couple of weeks later, someone reached out through our website, incoming request from a Fortune 100 company, right? So then I had one of my sales guy who started to discuss, the opportunity with this person, the way we would start and build a model with them. And the person replied, no, I just want one license to test. Well, imagine now the salesperson, we say, okay, I've got a big lead. I can work with this company. We can help them, and now it turns into, this one person from a Fortune 100 company who says that he wants to buy one license. So that really created this, big tension there where I say, okay, all right, it's going to be bad.
You said to me that every round that you've raised has created some kind of challenge or pressure. You raised a Series B in, I think it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Well, what was the challenge there?
It was kind of the same story. So not with marketing this time, but with kind of scaling the organization again to go faster. Same pressure, right? We raised this time 42 million. So you increase the level of pressure, right? The more money, the more pressure, and then think, okay, how then do I scale the organization, to go to a much bigger company? That's where you again start to bring new, highly experienced people who did it multiple times over their life time on that can bring this expertise, right? Because you want to, again, get very strong people with you who've done it already in the past, so that they help you find the path to this to this growth and to scale. Yeah, again, one more time, I did not go into a war this time, but I also had this kind of tension or creation of silos on beginning of political discussion, everything you don't want in a startup, right? A startup, it's all about speed. It's all about the flexibility that we have that the large organization cannot have. We have to be able, to be smart enough to navigate in complex situations, to find the right path to get there, and to evolve in permanently. Because in the cloud, as you know, in SaaS software, it's not a one-time purchase. You buy a service, and this service is evolving every day. And if you want to keep your customer with having good, customer stickiness, you have to continue to provide new features, new capability, continue to lead the market, continue to differentiate. So there's a momentum to keep in there, that where you really don't want to go into the path of being a big company.
It's kind of funny, like when you told the story earlier about your manager saying, go and take 2 years to go and do this project, and you come back in 6 months, and they weren't moving fast enough. And then now suddenly you're in a position where every time you raise money, they're telling you now that you're not moving fast enough. But every time you go and spend the money, it actually slows things down, at least for a while, when you bring new people in, or the dynamics change, or of the organization. It's a side of fundraising that I think often, like personally, I don't hear about. We hear about the struggles of raising the money and so on, but less so much about, hey, here are all the problems that got created once I'd raised the money, that actually, to be able to go and do what I needed to do.
Yeah, I find it harder after the fundraising than to get the fundraising by itself. That's a uncommon interesting fact, but I'm sure that if you question other CEOs who can share honestly, the complexity of this post fundraising, I think that's a true topic.
Yeah. All right, would love to keep chatting, but we should wrap up. So I'm going to get onto the lightning round. I've got 7 quick fire questions for you. So just try to answer them as quickly as you can.
Okay.
What's one of the best pieces of business advice you've received?
When I started the company, one of my advisors told me, hey, keep in mind that it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. And I keep this one here. And I'm glad that I didn't, run it as a sprint, because I would have died before.
What book would you recommend to our audience, and why?
Well, there's one book I think every CEO should or should not read, which is Hard Things About Hard Things from Ben Horowitz. And the reason why is because literally, if you want to know more about my story with this book, it's everything, all of the pain that is described in there, I had to go through, I think, all of them.
I know we're in the lightning round, but you have to just tell us very quickly what you told me about the getting halfway through the book and saying, okay, I just read about my past. Do I want to now? Just tell us that.
Yes, that was really scary when I was maybe had the book on where I say, okay, no, that's exactly where I'm at now. On thinking about it, that it was so true. That all of these stories that are highlighted in this book, I had to go through all of these, hurdles and points. I said, do I really want to know the future? Because if I read that, and if it, will it help me or will it destroy me? So to be honest with you, I continued to read a couple of chapters and I stopped. So I never, to be fairly honest, I never went up to the end of the book yet. but I will.
Yeah, when you retire, you can go back and take a look at the book. What's one attribute or characteristic in your mind of a successful founder?
I will give you one French expression. And in French, it's être droit dans ses bottes. So literally, it means being straight in your boots. So what it means behind is someone that would stand by their principle, their value, or their ideas, and would not change their mind, right? And I think that's very important because you're going to get so much, influence. People want you to think differently, to do things differently, etc. That if you are not crisp on straight into your ideas on where you want to go, you will never get there.
What is your favorite personal productivity tool or habit?
It's riding my bike.
What's a new or crazy business idea you'd love to pursue if you had the time?
A crazy business idea would be to use a solution like SightCall within the gig economy. I would love to empower anyone to be tasked and guided remotely by someone who knows, either someone who knows or even AI, right? To help them perform tasks that they thought they could never do or that were not trained on.
That's a super interesting idea, actually. Especially because the gig economy is just kind of, continuing to kind of explode in many ways. What's an interesting or fun fact about you that most people don't know?
Well, now they will know it. But when I grew up when I was a kid, my parents moved literally in a barn in the mountains where you could not keep what they tell me. I was young, that you could not even keep a candle burning because the walls were just wood planks where the wind would go through, and it was kind of wild.
Wow. And finally, what's one of your most important passions outside of your work?
It's, I would say, mountain biking. Any type of outdoor activity, again, saved my life because it's this combination of getting out, refreshing your mind, and also what I love in mountain biking is that it's a very very complete experience on sport where it goes from a lot of effort to go up the hill, right? And I like to say no pain, no reward. And then it can be very, very, very technical in the downhill. Use your brain. You have to calculate everything. You have to be very crisp on the, on every movement and everything you do. There's a lot of fun. Adrenaline is there. Good amount of risk as well, right? When you go into big rocks or this kind of stuff. So everything I like.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thomas, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to chat and go through your story of building this business since 2008. It's been quite a journey so far. If people want to check out SightCall, they can go to sightcall.com. And if folks want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can reach out to me by email, thomas@sightcall.com, and I will respond.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you and the team the best of success.
Thank you, Omer.
Cheers.